ʻeɪʒə is the sixth album by the jazz rock band Steely Dan. Originally released in 1977 on ABC Records, it became the group's best-selling album. Peaking at number 3 on the US charts and number 5 in the United Kingdom, it was the band's first platinum album, eventually selling over 5 million copies. In July 1978, the album won the Grammy Award for Best Engineered Non-Classical Recording. In 2003, the album was ranked number 145 on Rolling Stone's The 500 Greatest Albums of All Time list. It is sometimes considered a recording for audiophiles, because of its excellent production. Donald Fagen has said the title of the album comes from the name of a Korean woman who married the brother of a high school friend of his. The cover photo by Hideki Fujii features Japanese model and actress Sayoko Yamaguchi. The album features several leading session musicians. The 8-minute-long title track features jazz-based changes and a solo by saxophonist Wayne Shorter. ʻeɪʒə is the subject of one of the classic albums, a series of documentaries about the making of famous albums. The documentary includes a song-by-song study of the album, interviews with Steely Dan co-founders Walter Becker and Donald Fagen plus new, live and studio versions of songs from the album. Becker and Fagen also play back several of the rejected guitar solos for Peg, which were recorded before Jay Graydon produced the satisfactory take. When DTS attempted to make a 5.1 version, it was discovered that the multitrack masters for both Black Cow and the title track were missing. For this same reason, a multi-channel SACD version was cancelled by Universal Music. Donald Fagen has offered a $600 reward for the missing masters or any information that leads to their recovery. On April 6, 2011, the album was deemed by the Library of Congress to be culturally, historically, or aesthetically important, and added to the United States National Recording Registry for the year 2010. Outtakes: the sessions for ʻeɪʒə produced several outtakes, including You Got the Bear. The song was never officially released, but would later be played live on their 2011 Shuffle Diplomacy Tour. Critical reception: summarizing the style of the band at the time the album was released, music critic Andy Gill said, "Jazz rock was a fundamental part of the 70s musical landscape. Steely Dan wasn't rock or pop music with ideas above its station, and it wasn't jazzers slumming. It was a very well-forged alloy of the two. You couldn't separate the pop music from the jazz in their music." Describing the album in 1999, British musician Ian Dury said, "Well, ʻeɪʒə's got a sound that lifts your heart up and it's the most consistent up-full, heartwarming even though, it is a classic LA kinda sound. You wouldn't think it was recorded anywhere else in the world. It's got California through its blood, even though they are boys from New York. It's a record that sends my spirits up, and really when I listen to music, really that's what I want." Analyzing the band's songwriting style, Dury said, "They've got a skill that can make images that aren't puerile and don't make you think you've heard it before. Very Hollywood filmic in a way, the imagery is very imaginable, in a visual sense, and of their musical style, Parker, Mingus, Blakey, I can hear in their jazz messengers, I can hear in their, Bobby Timmons. The subject matter doesn't matter, it's the sound they're making." Track listing: all songs written by Walter Becker and Donald Fagen. Side 1, Black Cow Euro 510, ʻeɪʒə Euro 757, Deacon Blues Euro 733, Side 2, Peg Euro 357, Home at Last Euro 534, I Got the News Euro 506, Josie Euro 433, Personnel, Donald Fagen, lead vocals, synthesizer, police whistle, backing vocals, Walter Becker, bass, guitar, guitar solos Victor Feldman, electric piano, vibraphone, piano, percussion Joe Sample, electric piano, clavinet Paul Griffin, electric piano, backing vocals Michael Amartian, piano Don Grelnick, clavinet Larry Carlton, guitar solo Denny Diaz, Dean Parks, Lee Ritenour, Steve Kahn, guitar Jay Graydon. Solo guitar Chuck Rainey, bass Paul Humphrey, Steve Gadd, Bernard Purdie, Rick Marotta, Ed Green. Drums Jim Keltner, drums, percussion, Gary Coleman, percussion Tom Scott, tenor saxophone, Ly Rickon, horn arrangements Wayne Shorter, Pete Chrysalib, tenor saxophone Michael McDonald, Timothy B. Schmidt, Clydie King, Shirley Matthews, Vanetta Fields, Rebecca Louie, backing vocals. Production, executive producer, Stephen Diener, ABC Records, producer, Gary Katz, engineers, Roger Nichols, Elliot Skaner, Al Schmidt, Bill Schnee, assistant engineers, Joe Bellamy, Lenise Bent, Ken Klinger, Ron Pangeliman, Ed Rack, Linda Tyler, mastering, Bernie Grindman, production coordination, Barbara Miller, sound consultant, Dinky Dawson, consultant, Daniel Levitin, horn arrangements, Tom Scott, art direction, Vartan reissue, design, Jeff Wesson, photography, Hideki Fujii, Walter Becker, liner notes, Walter Becker, Donald Fagen, reissue coordination, Beth Stemple, charts, album, pop singles, awards, Grammy Awards, references. External links, complete lyrics, promotional video, courtesy of the Museum of Classic Chicago Television, classic albums, Ajar by Steely Dan 1977 on YouTube.